I don't know about you guys, but I am sick and tired of hearing people complain about the recession all the time. You know? Oh, I've got kids to feed. That's your own fault. I get it. Kids are a pain. Like, I'm sure most people get divorced not because they don't love each other anymore. They just want the kids only half the time. They're expensive, these kids, you know? Every kid these days wants the iPad tablet. If I had a kid, the only tablet I give him is a Ritalin. Here you go, buddy, go stare at the wall. But I think they exaggerate the economy these days, you know? Like, if we have all this unemployment, how come I'm dealing with the same traffic every day? Are people pretending to go to work? Do us all a favor. If you lost your job, get the hell off the road. So the rest of us can get to work and not lose ours. You're selfish. You know, they say if you do what you love, though, you'll never work a day in your life. Especially if you love not working. There's no shame in being poor, guys. Take it from me. You know, they say being poor, that's more Christian. Which I think is true because there's this homeless guy outside my building, very much like Jesus. Yeah, except Jesus didn't turn money into wine. And I'm pretty sure Jesus didn't walk on urine. But there's some amazing jobs out there, believe it or not. I know this guy, he's a video game tester. Basically, the way this job works is a video game company gives him a video game, and he plays it, you know, and they're like, "So is that fun?" He's like, "Yeah, this is fun." And they're like, "Oh, here's money. How about this? Is this fun?" Plays it. "Nah, this isn't fun." "All right, here's money." I think the best job to have, though, would be to work in an unemployment office. Because even if they fire you, they still have to pay you. I'd be the worst employee ever. I'd be like, I ain't doing nothing. Okay, man, pack your stuff, get out of here, you're fired. All right, see you next week. But I had to move back into my parents' house for a while. I ran out of money. And my mom was always complaining about how messy I am. She's like, "Why are towels all over the bathroom floor?" I'm like, "How many times do we have to go over this?" "Towel on the floor means please exchange." Hot toots we are, I'll have all day. But I had to get out of there, guys, because she was always treating me like a kid. Whenever we'd have dinner, she'd be like, "Phil, you better finish your food. There's kids starving in Africa." And I always wonder, what did they tell kids in Africa? You know? Like, hey, you better finish your food. You're starving. That makes a little more sense. I tried some Ethiopian cuisine for the first time. Yeah, not a fan. It was kind of a ripoff. They handed me an empty plate and charged me for it. No, guys, they do have their own cuisine, but I sent it back because I found a food in my flies. I was at this party and this guy came up to me and he was like, "Bro, I love the girl-to-guy ratio here, which I thought was so creepy, because there were no girls. But for people who want to get married, you have to be very careful not to marry a relative these days. These days, they can actually test to see if someone was born of incest by looking at their DNA. Yeah. Yeah, which I guess replaces the old method of looking at their face. One of my buddies, he wants to get married in like the next 2 years, but he doesn't have a girlfriend or anything. And I'm like, so what's your big plan? And he's like, I guess I hope I get a girl pregnant. Which is the first time I ever heard of a guy trying to trap a girl. You know, like, hey, I gotta tell you something. You're pregnant. I was like, oh my God, I thought you said I was on the pill. Some exciting news, the government says that they're going to force health insurance companies to cover the birth control pill with no copay. Yeah, I was surprised though, because I thought that sluttiness was a pre-existing condition. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth, as you can imagine. I was trying to be very nice. I'm sure you guys have done this one time. I came up to a woman, I was like, oh, how many months are you? And she's like, I'm not pregnant. And I'm like, oh, I meant how many months have you been fat? Which was actually worse. Just walk away. I'm originally from New York, and I got mugged in New York by 4 guys. Can you imagine? 4 guys strong-arming an adorable little thing like me? One would have been plenty. I felt bad for them. You know, they had to split $13 among the 4 of them. How do you do that? Was there a calculator involved? I hope they had to start mugging each other. And they seemed kind of mad. They're like, where's your money? I'm like, now you know how I feel. Thank you very much.